Hey, welcome to my channel. Uh, Sorry. Let's just get one thing out of the way, basically. It's not to say that I think Dable and Shane should be still remaining. I'm only saying maybe give him a little bit of time. More so to the fact is let's be honest. You have you have an issue right now where your best player practically, pretty much, on the offensive side, anyways. Malik Neighbors is injured. Malik Neighbors is up here, out of the camera above, and while the rest of your wide receiving core are pretty much down here. And for those of you who can't see, it's out of the picture. It's by my knees, basically. For some reason, Dable and Shane believe that, this is Malik Neighbors, Slayton, Robinson, and then the rest are probably down here. Not down here, but over around here. I mean, I don't know what they're thinking of. I don't know if Dable thinks he's a miracle worker or something like that because what he did with Daniel Jones, but now we're saying what Daniel Jones has done or is doing with the Indianapolis Colts. Now, granted, I don't think outside of the Rams, they're not playing a heavy, well, I don't want to say heavy favorite, but more of like these dominant teams as their opposing teams. But, they are doing pretty decent, honestly. And it's showing that if you have a good offensive line with a good running back, some offensive weapons, quarterback does really well. But honestly, if you put Dart in that position, I think you'd be doing the exact same thing as well too. If you put in Sam Darnold, Indianapolis Colts, I think you'd do well as well too, honestly. But time will tell. It'll be interesting to see how Daniel Jones stacks up against really good defenses. But in any case, coming back to the fact that Dable and Shane, let's be honest, they didn't adapt. When Neighbors went down, they thought they could adapt. Scadaboo is good to the point where he's still a rookie. Similarly, just like the way Dart is a rookie, they're gonna make mistakes. You need some veterans on your team to help out, or if worst case, at least have couple rookie wide receivers. Fact is, I don't know why he thinks for some reason or another that Slayton and Robinson were good enough. Because you saw what happened at Hyatt, for Pete's sake, Hyatt. I have no idea what the hell are they thinking. This is a case where, like I said, if these guys believe, Shane and Dable think that they have wide receivers that are enough to help them to at least make the games competitive, they got another thing coming. The Eagles game is going to show. The Eagles game is going to show basically how bad the Giants are. To be quite honest, I'll be surprised if they could get 8 wins. If they get 6 wins, I said it before. 8 wins, it's a win. Honestly, if they can get 4 wins, it'd be a win. Honestly, because quite honestly, this is not a team that's gonna get. They're probably gonna be 1-16. Honestly, I think they're gonna be 1-16, maybe at best 2-15. But this is not a team that's gonna win. Quite honestly, the team that's going to be far off worse than them is probably most likely New Orleans and the Jets. Probably the Giants are going to probably have the number 3rd pick as well again. If they can go for the number 1 pick, that's great. But I don't know who's coming out this year that's good enough. That's a game changer. It's not Arch Manning. Let's be honest. Arch Manning is not your QB right now. The way Arch Manning was playing in Texas, specifically what he played on Saturday, that was atrocious. So, but in any case, this is a situation where I think the Giants. I honestly don't know what Mara's going to do because Mara's sick as hell too. So if he survives, he's not gonna. Is he gonna get rid of him? I don't know because honestly, this is the man that wants. He's not going to survive. He wants to win again. He wants to bring the team back to its respectable roots. But for that, I have no idea what to do because the GMs that he's been getting have not been panning out. I want to say Shane is doing a decent job, but honestly, we've seen the mistakes he's made. Considering the fact that, he screwed up on re-signing Daniel Jones for that kind of money, letting Saquon go not even bothering with the offensive line. Everyone's thinking all right, yes, compared to 2 years ago, the offensive line is far more better, but it's still not an elite. It's nowhere near elite. Let's be honest. And they're never going to get to that level until you rebuild from the draft and get some really good, bloody offensive linemen in there. Like a tackle. You need the tackle. You need a center. I know veterans make sense, but the reality is you're going to have to build them up. You're going to have to build it up. And like I say, but go the Jimmy Johnson route. Scrap them. Bring in new rookies. Try to get the best ones you can, specifically ones that are like good with their hands, good to the perspective of like fast, and good to the point of like they're strong enough too. But outside of that, I mean, the other factor is you're gonna have to build out your wide receiving core because like Neighbors is not it. If they can get Wilson, I've said this again. I've been saying this for a couple videos. If they can get Wilson from the Jets, that will help them considerably. For the running back, Scadaboo is good, but he's not there. Let's be honest, he's no Jonathan Taylor. So, JT with the Indianapolis Colts, seeing what he's doing, I mean, honestly, he's definitely no Saquon for sure as well too. But would we see a running back of that kind of caliber like Saquon is again in the draft? Not for maybe another couple more years, I would say. You could probably find someone if you could find someone. You've got to really be really good in the draft to find these people, basically. And the problem is like I think their scouting department has to be revamped a little bit as well too. Let's be honest, their scouting department has to be revamped because I don't know what to say, but yeah, this is a case where like, do I just give up and wait for like 2028? I don't know. At least I've seen the Giants won 3 Super Bowls in my lifetime. At least when I was a child and when I was an adult. I would love to see him at my, before I hit old age, for a couple more basically. But, time will tell. I don't know. This is, it'll be interesting to see how Thursday plays out. I want to see how Thursday pans out because right now they got to. Okay, you know what? Here's one thing I was noticing. I said in one of my early videos, maybe you get rid of the defensive coordinator and bring in Antonio Pierce. Yes, that makes sense. Antonio Pierce, I think, makes sense as a defensive coordinator. From an offensive coordinator perspective, I have to say this, but like you got to get a quarterback that had that aspect of like could think and see all around, basically. Like I said, Tom Brady might be a good offensive coordinator. Granted, I think he needs to work as a QB coach first before he becomes a offensive coordinator. But Peyton Manning is also that similar situation. He's going to think like a quarterback. He's not going to think along the lines of like offensively speaking from all aspects, but he'll be able to devise plays. But honestly, looking back, maybe Drew Brees, because I remember seeing some videos of him when him and Peyton were working together. Peyton was like coming out with some of these offensive plays and recognizing like defensive schemes and such that he knew how to counteract them. Drew Brees might be a good offensive coordinator. I hate to say this, but like I think he might be one of those guys that he could build into it at that point. Because like this is a man that could recognize the field, recognize the plays, knows what plays that you need to do to counteract those defensive plays or men in motion at that point. And I think this is a guy that would recognize the talent that he would have on his team and knowing full well like how to utilize them effectively. I don't right now, like honestly, I don't think anyone could do anything right at this point. The Giants might as well find someone on the practice squad, bring them on board, get rid of. I have to say is Slayton, get rid of him. Robinson, get rid of him. Hyatt, get rid of him. I don't know if anything what you can do, but like maybe, I mean, look, we got a Victor Cruz out of the practice squad. Maybe we could find another person like that. Maybe. Or another 2 other players, possibly. I don't know. But you're in desperate need right now. So, desperation calls for desperate measures. So, I don't know. Let me know your thoughts. Please put a comment in the comment section. I have no idea what to do. But I know for a fact that the Giants are not going to get 5 wins this year. That's why I said, like, if they could get 6 to 8 wins, it's a win. I think right now, if they can get 3 wins, it'd be a miracle. But I have a feeling they're only going to get maybe 1 or 2 wins at best this year. You thought the New Orleans Saints should have been a win for them right then and there, but they screwed it up. Only the Giants can screw that up. I mean, if this is a team, if the expectation of that nature shows that the Giants are now on the same level as the Jets, as like, you know what, this is expected. We know it should be a win, but we knew they were going to lose. We knew they were going to lose to the worst team. I mean, it'd be interesting to see if the Giants go against the Jets. I have a feeling the Giants will lose against the Jets. Everyone would expect the Jets to lose. Jets would come in and win. Giants would lose. And it would be like, oh my God, you would, instead of saying typical Jets, it would be now typical Giants. I hate to say that, but that's what I'm seeing it as. I don't know. Like I said, let me know your thoughts on that.